And there we are. We're live. We're a little bit late, a couple of minutes. Hopefully no one left. They got bored. It's like 2 minutes and they're like, I'm out of here. So not worth it. Maybe not. Maybe you're all here. Hey, it's Tuesday night. It is Cocktales with Tiki King once again, and starting a new trip around the sun. Here we are, episode 54. I messed up. I thought this was going to be episode 53. But I forgot a couple episodes in my numbering scheme, apparently. So our big holiday extravaganza already happened. So we're just going to push on through to something else. There you go. No, I'm kidding. So what's so yeah. So there we go. We had we're apparently over a year that we've now been doing this show. You guys have, most of us have been with us now for a year. Are we having technical difficulties? Maybe.
Start over.
Start over. Do I need to start over? Is something
Start now?
Oh, okay. Well, here we are. I'm going to start over again because apparently something went awry. So here we are, episode 54 of Cocktales with Tiki King here on Tuesday night. It should have been episode 53 of those of you who are keeping score at home, but there was some sort of a brouhaha about the numbering system that I used when I was uploading the videos, and I miscounted. And so now we're actually 2 weeks into the new year of Cocktales with Tiki King. Last week's episode, which I thought was 52, was 53, and this one's 54, which I thought would be 53 because I thought this was going to be the big New Year one, but apparently not. But that's rambling, and I do that from time to time. But so what are we doing tonight? Well, I'd hoped for. I had some big surprises, but you're just gonna have to wait. You guys are gonna have to tune in next week for more big surprises. So tonight, I thought I'd do a little retrospective. I thought I'd get a little bleary-eyed about stuff. But first, I think I want to make a drink because I think you guys could use a drink about now if you've been watching my show for upwards of 8 minutes or thereabouts. So what are we making tonight? What are we making? Well, tonight, so here's the thing. So we've come all the way around. Strangely enough. So last week would have been episode, like if we were doing year seasons, right? So we got all up to get to 52 weeks, so that's a year. Then 53 would have been 1, right? So 54 would have been 2, which is tonight, right? Well, episode 2 was the grasshopper. Well, tonight's drink just happens to be the cricket, which is a variant on the grasshopper. Is what they serve at Goofy's Kitchen in Disneyland, at the Disneyland Hotel. So I think that's strangely apropos that through all sorts of not planning on my part, it came right around perfectly to where we're actually doing a anniversary drink in a way. Because I was like, I want to do my original plan was for the big holiday extravaganza, for the big year trip around the sun business. 1 year in business and all that sort of thing. I was going to redo the hot buttered rum, and figure something out for that. But then I decided on the cricket, which, like I said, I think that works out very well. I'm pleased with that. Because here we go, episode 54, which would be episode 2, grasshopper. So there we go. So without further ado, let us craft ourselves a cocktail, shall we? So what are we doing with this? What is the cricket? Well, like I said, the cricket is basically the grasshopper. Where's my measuring device? Where did it go? Did I bring up 2? Maybe I didn't. No. So we'll start with, we'll do the ingredients not in quite the same order as I was going to. So you do 1 Hello Kitty of cream. 1 Hello Kitty of green cream de mint. That goes in there. 1 Hello Kitty of white cream de cocoa, which is basically the same as brown cream de cocoa, only it's white, and it's slightly different. But I'm not going to tell you what those differences are. You'll have to figure it out on your own. If you're true Boozeketeers, I know you'll sleuth it out. So there's that. And then what? So you're like, well, you're making a grasshopper. Aha. So what makes the cricket? Apparently what makes the cricket is green chartreuse. And it helps bump it up. Normally a grasshopper would have vodka. So you'd use a high proof vodka in with the cream de cocoa and the cream de mint and the cream. But we're going to be using green chartreuse at a healthy 110 proof. One of those in there. Bop, 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 bow. Then we're going to give that a shake. Strain it into a cocktail glass. Have to wash the tablecloth. I made a double batch because I think I'm probably going to want more than one. And so, hey, speaking of straining, I got this here fine strainer from our friend Ivy down at the Boozeketeer in Salt Lake City, where you Salt Lake Cityans can go get all your boozy needs. Ivy's got shakers and strainers and all sorts of different carafes and glasses and mixers and mixtures and bar spoons and all the different things that you might want and need to set up your own bar. We talked about setting up a home bar. If you are setting up a home bar, you should go down and see Ivy. She'll set you up with whatever sort of things you need. And so here we go. The cricket, we're going to garnish it with an Andes cream de menthe on a green sword pick, keeping up with the whole theme of the thing. Let's see how this is. As I say, lovely. Give that a little taste. Don't worry, I made more. It's pretty good, I have to say. The cricket, another fine drink. So anyway, yeah. So I was looking. The reason that I found my error in numbering is because I compiled a list here of all the drinks that we've made, starting from episode number 1, a little over a year ago. Are things happening still? Okay. there's stuff going on backstage with the producers and the writers. So I compiled a list of where we've been and what we've been doing. And this may be a little nostalgic for some of you, but we've covered a lot of ground here. Started with episode number 1, we did hot butter rums. Then we moved on to the grasshopper. Like I said, in episode 2, we had a bonus episode in there about making spice cider. The brandy Alexander was number 3. Irish coffee was number 4. You may or may not remember Irish coffee. I think we might want to redo that one with a proper float because it went awry. Number 5 was our New Year's special where we did champagne cocktails. We did the French 75 and Cure Royale. Number 6 was White Russians, but they were improvised. It wasn't the standard recipe. It was how do you abide when you need to abide and you don't got what it takes to do it. There you go. We covered that. Number 7 was rum and coke. It was actually highballs. We discussed that. Rum and coke was what I was drinking. 8 was our first episode on the road. That was at Damon's. We drank too many Mai Tais. We digressed. We time traveled. That was a whole thing. Number 9 was Bloody Marys. Number 10, gin and tonic. Number 11, old fashions. 12 was ginger beer. 13, mint juleps. That was, we read some Hunter S. Thompson. That was a whole lot of fun. 14 wasn't really a cocktail. We just drank cheap beer and talked about stuff. Number 15, the Seafoam Gimlet, a special of Tiki King's 821 Club from back in the day. Some of you Boozeketeers may have had them. Others may have to go back, read the recipe, and get. Oh, I just realized I should probably put the recipe on the YouTube channel so people can make them while they're, every recipe goes up on my, if it's not already on my cocktail database, it goes up on the cocktail database shortly after the show. So if there's ever a drink you want to try, you go to there, go to Tiki King's, tikiking.com/booze, and go to the database, and all the recipes are up there. Seafoam Gimlet, that's right. Singapore Slang was number 16. 17 wasn't really a drink, shots and mail. I drank shots and I read reader mail. And it worked so well that no one's written a sentence. After that was whiskey sour. They were good. They were sour. They were tasty. I actually had a whiskey sour. I had two of them last night. They've become a staple. 19 was a Manhattan. Strangely enough, and I had a Manhattan tonight. I decided, what the heck? I'm going to make up a Manhattan. I've been drinking whiskey sours all week. And there it is. It's a strange synchronicity. I think it might be the word synchronicity. Is that the right word? Something like that. After the Manhattans came the Emerald, the Americano. That was our second two for Tuesday. We did two drinks because they were very similar with a slight variation on the ingredients. 21 was the Surprising Turk. That was actually the second episode in which the Turk arrived and saved the day in the form of making some very powerful Mai Tais. That evening went on quite long, and things went a little bit awry. You should watch that one. It's fun. Next was the first time we went to Trader Sam's. It was Trader Sam's number one, our second on the road show, I believe. I drank the Uh-Oh bowl and something else. I don't remember. It was the Uh-Oh bowl with something else inside it. Number 23 was the Pim's Cup with advice all the way from the UK. After that, we went to the Tiki King where we drank a whole bunch of painkillers. Some of the Boozeketeers were there. Danny was there. CJ was there. Maggie was there. We had a good time drinking painkillers. We had such a good time drinking painkillers that we came back and drank more painkillers in episode 25 because I said, hey, let's make them. Let's not just drink them. Let's make them. So we did that. Number 26, I was a little under the weather, so I did hot toddies, which you remember the hot toddy drinks, which are usually a booze, hot water, and some kind of citrus and sweetener. 27 is a sidecar. That was the first, I think the first less than enthusiastic cocktail. But hey, there's, as we found out with some other ones, you never know. 28 was daiquiris. That one was a big success. I think we ended up in the cemetery after that one. We ended up in our drunken stupor wandering about the cemetery after drinking many daiquiris, which was a lot of fun. 29 was mindless rambling. I didn't watch the episode to see what we drank. I drank something and I read some stories of my own devising. Number 30 was watermelon cooler. It was a summer day and I felt the need for something that was refreshing. So we shook up some vodka and fresh watermelon and ice, and it was a tasty thing. 31 was Long Island iced tea. That was another one that those were well received, and many were received, in fact, so many that we talked ourselves into the bonus feature, which comes off right after that, which is How the Day Works, where we went to the Jury Room, which is a bar in Santa Cruz that opens at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we went down there, and we're surprised to see a bunch of people lined up waiting to get in. And we went in there, and it was fun. That was a glorious thing. And there's whole we'll watch all of them, but that one then on one of the other episodes, and I explain about the $5 bill, which is I think an interesting tale. 32. That's the missing episode. That's the one. It's gone. 32 was Bilgewater in the Bilge, in the Turk's bar. His pirate bar down there in the bilge, and we filmed a fantastic episode, and it disappeared into the ethers. It evaporated into pixels and went away. Who knows where? Demagnetized, gone. '33. We went on the road again. We went out to Sedona, Arizona, to the Fallen Asylum, Fallen Tattoo Asylum. That is where Danny Boozeketeer, Danny out there does fantastic tattooing, and we drank a bunch of Jameson. And I think some tattoos got given and received that night. And we had a lot of fun. 35, we were back in Santa Cruz at our dear friend Kim's backyard where we were instructed to drink all the rum. That's what she said. And we did our best. So, and there was more rum than I think she knew because I had brought a bunch and the instructions weren't drink all my rum. It was just drink all the rum. So, 36, Jungle Bird. I had a Jungle Bird at the Jungle Bird. It was Black Tot night, in fact. But had a tasty beverage in a tiki mug and got some education on the Black Tot from one of the bartenders there and some free swag. So that was a good time. 37. We were back at Trader Sam's again, drinking the Piranha Pool out of the Piranha mug. And that was on our way to Tiki Oasis, where the next episode comes from, which was the bonus episode of Tiki Oasis, which was just us in our drunken stupor out in the foyer. listening to fantastic music and having drinks, and we ran into Macbeth of Macbeth Art, who actually was at Disneyland recently doing hawking his art in the Wonderground. So yeah, so there you go, Tiki Oasis. 38 was on our way home. We stopped off at the Rebar and had a few different things, but one of them was the Preservation Punch. And the Rebar, one of their things is they do cocktails that they call them charitable cocktails, where if you ordered one of those cocktails, they give a portion of the proceeds to a charity. So you could booze it up and save the world at the same time, sort of. Then that was a night out on trying to figure out what to do, and we ended up the Red Robin. Had some Mai Tais and zombies, and actually met a Boozeketeer. Somebody who happened to be. So it turned out that was the host. The host. What do you call the guy who checks you in? The host, I guess. The host was a fan of the show. So wandering around, what do you know? You never know when you're going to run into a Boozeketeer. After that, we were at the Tonga Hut. We had a big old bowl of Tonga Punch, and I think a couple other drinks. And then that one had a bonus feature after that. We had the Tonga Hut after party. Episode 41. Things went awry. That was Pixel Power episode. That was we still don't know what happened. But watch it and put on your 3D glasses before you do, because you will probably need them. Excuse me while I help myself to this fun cocktail. It kind of reminds me. It's a little less licoricey, but kind of reminds me of the Green Russian. Mm-hmm. Which, strangely enough, so there we go. So after Pixel Power came the proper absinthe, which we did up a proper absinthe with the sugar and the flames and the water and the whole thing, and it was fantastic. And we also, since we had the stuff out, we made Green Russians, which if you haven't tried one, I'm not sure you should. That's all I have to say. Actually, you should try the Green Russian. Just remember what happens. Write it down. After the Green Russians was 43 was Whiskey in Vegas. It was Cocktails at the Cabana. We stopped off at the El Cortez at the Cabana rooms there, and they had some fantastic mid-century mod 70s. They weren't in mid-century. What were they? There was just these fantastic lime green and white patent leather and chrome and gold and all kinds of stuff, and drank a bottle of whiskey there, and that was a lot of fun. After that, we talked about setting up your own home bar, and we're actually currently gathering our bits and our strength, as it were. So we may be soon coming to you from a very special home bar. So there's probably going to be a couple iterations before that, but we'll see. Iteration. You never know with the iterations. There could be a few. After Whiskey in Vegas, home bar, 45 Navy Grog. We were back in the bilge. That was the bilge triangle episode, which you have to watch to understand, because I still don't understand it, and I was there. And I've watched it, and I still don't understand if I was there, because I'm pretty sure I was at times. And Turk, wish Turk Godspeed. He's out there flying about the world. I think he's currently in Hawaii. The Turk is settling in New Zealand for a bit. So the bilge is no longer, we're not going to be in the bilge for a good half a year, if we go back there at all. You never know. And that was Navy Grog. Navy Grog from memory, because I didn't have a recipe because it was on my phone because of part of the whole bilge triangle thing. Electronics are going crazy, and the show started and stopped, and there were edits and weird things. But in the end, it all worked out. I thought it worked very well. Then 46 chartreuse. We made some chartreuse. We had just chartreuse, and then some chartreuse cocktails, and that was good. And we're having a chartreuse cocktail tonight. There you go. What was after chartreuse? After chartreuse was the tequila episode, number 47. We made 3 margaritas, the Blue Moon, and the Marble Queen. All 3 were fine drinks. There was something about one of them. There's notes on my recipes on my show. You can look it up. There was something. Look something up. It happened. 48 was zombies. Made some powerful zombies. Our original intent was to supposedly, well, no, I know what this part isn't supposed, but there's a cemetery with a big marble chair, And if you sit in the marble chair, apparently you get possessed, and the demons come. And it's, so we figured, okay, we should probably do that and bring some booze. So we set out to see what what the hullabaloo was about. There wasn't any hullabaloo to be found. Only a bunch of teenagers drinking beer, who we chased through the cemetery until they jumped in the back of the truck and drove off screaming. 49. I just made it up. I had a bunch of booze. I made a drink. I can't say it was good, but I can't say it was bad. But I did say a whole lot of stuff. That was the ranting episode, where I waxed philosophical and ranted. Episode 50, we talked about gift packs. And there's, it's coming up on gift season. I'm telling you, get out there. Give your booze-loving friends some booze-loving stuff. Then we did episode 51. We did Chi-Chi's and Blue Hawaii's, 2 classical tropic drinks. Good stuff there. Now, the not so good stuff. So episode 52 was our first official reader. I keep saying reader. Our first official viewer submitted recipes. Corsair Jack sent us in a suggestion of doing the orange flip and the bijou, and the bijou was good. I like that. The bijou was good. The orange flip, someone likes it, I guess, because they wrote the recipe down. But I thought, so I was actually thinking about the orange flip today, and I thought, well, martini is has some savory, has some stuff. There's a lot of drinks that I think I just wasn't prepared for what it was going to be, because I was expecting an orange Julius, and what I got was an orange olive. It was a slightly cream and orange scented green olive. But I was excited about making the new recipes. So keep sending them in. If you have recipes you want us to try, if you've heard of something, don't make it a challenge like, oh, here, this will be gross, make them drink this. But if you know of something that you would like to see us make on the show, please don't hesitate to send it in, because if we do, guess what? We're going to say your name on the air, and then you'll be at least as famous as one episode of my show. I think that's a bargain. Most people pay twice as much for that sort of thing. So there you go, 53. That was just a week ago. Trader Sam's Holiday Special. That was probably, I don't think that was the shortest episode, but it ranks up there. It ended up being not even 15 minutes, I don't think. Oh, what's going on over there? The printer is deciding to just print something for some reason. So that was it. And that leaves us with tonight, episode 54, the cricket. And it's good. I would advise it. I don't actually have the recipe up on the site yet, but I will. Basically, if you want to make yourself a grasshopper and throw in some, this is viewer mail. I'll get to this in a minute. If you go to the cricket recipe or the grasshopper recipe and throw in a jigger of chartreuse, you're basically there. So, or if you want to wait and savor the sweetness. So this just in, hot off the printer. Printer update completed. Printer update has been automatically installed in the printer. HP releases printer updates to enhance printer's features and performance. These updates ensure that the printer has the latest firmware installed. So you can look at that. Hewlett-Packard tuning into the show. It's an amazing thing. You never know where mail is going to come from on Cocktales and Tiki King. But I know where it doesn't come from. It doesn't come from not sharing the show, which you should have been doing already. Did you guys share the program? You should have. Makes me happy when you share it. Did you go to the websites? Because you know what? Next week's episode, we're going to have some cool. I'm going to show you some cool. We're going to get some swag, so we can show it off. We can show off the swag. And that'll be good. But you can always go to the booze portal, tikiking.com/booze. Go get yourself some Boozeketeer gear, and show it off proudly. And speaking of showing off proudly, once again, if you have a place that you think we should go, other than as an insult, if you know of a bar that we should go to, let us know. Tell us what bar we should go to and what we should drink when we get there, and maybe we'll do the show live from there. Like I said, we're going to be doing I think we haven't actually discussed the terms of endearment, the terminators of endearment for doing a show. We're going to be doing one from the Boozeketeer, I think, though, not necessarily for anything other than it could be fun. We'll drink a bunch of booze and talk about booze accoutrements, and she can show off the various. The one something they have there. They have a shaker shaped like a penguin. You don't see that every day unless you work there. And she sees it every day. But yeah, so we're going to set that up, but in that to that end, if you know a bar we should go to and do the show from, let us know. Check out the websites, tikiking.com, tikiking.info. Go to the booze portal and go to YouTube and subscribe. Because the more you subscribe, the more subscribers I get, and then it looks more legitimate when I try to take out a loan in your name. So I think that's it. That's the stuff. There you go. I want to thank producer Maggie for setting up the bar, the holiday special with the twinkling, with the static lights, and the wonderful tablecloth, and making things look nice for Cocktales of Tiki King. And you know who we do it for? We do it for you because we love you. Or at least we want you to continue to... Oh, there's people liking stuff. I was like, what's floating up behind me? Whenever people like stuff, I see things floating. There we go. Floating up behind me. Yes. Be free, my little hearts. Yes. So there you go. This has been Cocktales of Tiki King, and I've been Tiki King the whole time. And I know you all have been admiring my new castle. That's right. It's part of the new thing. We're going into a whole new year. Who knows? We're already in the new year, so we don't know either. But stuff's going to happen, and you guys are going to be here. And remember, I don't remember. I hope you guys remember, because I've forgotten. So tune in next week when other things will happen and more drinks will be drank. And until then, I'm Tiki King. I don't know about you guys, but and this has been Cocktales of Tiki King. And just remember, there's always time for stuff that you already done. So there you go. Good night, Boozeketeers.